What's up, everybody? The Iceman here on this Tuesday afternoon, and I gotta say, last night's main event on Raw. You know, I have not seen a main event like that in a very long time. And when you do see something like that, it usually doesn't end in a clean finish. But last night's did with Seth Rollins getting the 3 count on Randy Orton in what to me was one of the most brutal matches I've seen in a very, very long time in the WWE. Congratulations to the WWE because I've been very critical of them in recent months about their Monday Night Raw live shows. I did, like last week's show with Cena and Orton main eventing. Excuse me, Cena and Rollins main eventing, and last night's show. The main event was unbelievable. And I knew it was going to be a halfway decent show just for the fact that Vince McMahon came out with Stephanie and Triple H. And you sort of knew the crowd gave Vince such a big pop when he came out. And they were booing Triple H and Stephanie. And you sort of knew that Vince had something up his sleeve. And of course he did. He put a stipulation to Team Authority and Team Cena at the Survivor Series. If Cena's team beats the Authority, they are no longer in power in the WWE. So he upped the ante there. And of course, Triple H, acted like it was no big deal in front of everybody, in front of the camera, um, in front of Vince, no less. But when he got alone with Stephanie, he said, what's going on here? And Stephanie said, I don't know, but I'm going to find out about it. And, you know, Vince, has his way of putting those little digs into you, like he's telling Triple H to straighten out his tie and whatnot, and repeating things. But seeing Vince McMahon was a long time coming, and I've been hoping for him to come back, and he did come back, and it really made my night. Um, Regardless of what else went on with the show, which for the most part the show was pretty darn good overall. Um, but getting to that main event, Orton and Rollins put on a classic. And of course, when you're watching this and you see Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble and Kane and then Triple H and Stephanie near the announce table, you sort of knew it was going to be one sided one way or the other. And we saw a side of Randy Orton more vicious than we've seen in a very long time. Excuse me. And I liked what I saw out of Randy Orton, but I'll tell you one thing. He's one of those kind of guys, man. When he looks like that, you wouldn't want to meet him on the street somewhere because he's a very vicious human being when he wants to be. And he really showed what he's made of last night. But also, you got to give kudos to Seth Rollins, who really held his own in the ring. I think Seth Rollins is a little bit cocky uh, at this stage of the game. I just think that he thinks he is the best, and he needs to prove that he is the best. And it's not just one or two matches that are going to prove it. But this match went on, and it looked like we seen Rollins get thrown on the announce table, slammed on the announce table. Randy Orton was going berserk, pulling the monitors off and the wiring off. Triple H was like going livid. He didn't know what to think. Um, Basically, Triple H thought enough was enough. But Stephanie had that evil grin on her face. She wanted to see more. And boy, did she see more. Because those two went back to battle once again. And it just got to the point where they looked to me like they both were exhausted. And it looked like Randy Orton was ready to give him the RKO. And Rollins just snuck out of nowhere and rolled him up and got the pin and got the win, as a matter of fact. A very, you know, the raged look on Randy Orton after he lost the match, and everybody's clapping behind him. Noble, Mercury, Kane, and Seth Rollins has got his arms raised in the air. And Triple H is telling Randy to do the right thing. We made an agreement. Randy went up and shook Mercury's hand, Noble's hand, Kane's hand. He actually shook the hands of Seth Rollins, and Rollins was saying, "I'm sorry, but we got to get past all this. There's a bigger picture here and whatnot." Randy Orton sort of leaned forward with his head against Rollins and turned around out of nowhere with an RKO. It lit the place on fire. I mean, I was at the edge of my seat. I loved it. I loved every second of this match. And then, of course, everybody's going after Randy Orton. Randy Orton started RKOing everybody. Triple H got in the ring. He tried to calm Randy Orton down, of course. And then finally, Randy Orton turned around and nailed Triple H. And then again, things went to hell. And finally, uh, Seth Rollins ended up curb stomping Randy Orton on the announce table. And Stephanie wanted more. She just wanted more. She didn't even want Randy Orton uh, on Team Authority to begin with. And so they brought out part of the steps, the steel steps, and Seth Rollins jumped off the announce table and curb stomped Randy Orton once again. Once again, he was bleeding from the head, and Triple H, of course, prior to that, Stephanie said finish him off. Triple H was reluctant to say it at first, but then he finally did finish him off, and he walked away. And then it was all said and done. Him and Stephanie just went up the ramp. But what an ending to Monday Night Raw. People talk about the PG era. Well, let me tell you something here. This match was no PG match. This was just a phenomenal, classic match. And it goes to show you, people, what the WWE can do when they put their minds to it. They really put together a great show last night. And I'd have to say, I mean, it's one of those main events that's really hard to top. Now, with all that being said, Randy Orton's supposed to be away for a few weeks to do some filming on his movie. So I guess this is the most appropriate thing for him to have happen to him is have him beat up uh, to a pulp to where obviously we all think he's injured, and so we probably won't see Randy Orton for the next few weeks. But here's my thing: when Randy Orton comes back, hopefully he will be back at Survivor Series. There's rumors that he may not, but you cannot always believe those rumors. If Randy Orton comes back, you can guarantee he's joining Team Cena. This is going to be great. Again, if you failed to watch Raw last night, this is one of those Raws you don't want to miss. I think start to finish was really good. Um, there was a couple little, you know, short matches here and there that weren't worthwhile watching really. Um, basically, Nikki Bella, was involved in a match. AJ Lee was sitting at ringside. I mean, it just Nikki and Emma, who really cares? But anyway, and then we saw Fernando and Stardust in a match that was pretty short and sweet as well. But other than that, the show was phenomenal. Uh, check it out if you haven't seen it. Really, if anything, watch the main event because you won't be sorry that you watched it. You're just gonna be in awe watching everything that went on in this match, and it was truly a great match. I mean, I can't say anything more better about it. It was one of the best matches I've seen on a main event on Raw that ended cleanly in a very, very long time. This is the Iceman on this Tuesday afternoon on the Jeffrey Rose YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. Have yourself a great Tuesday.